I'm about to fully break down the 5 things you need in order to start selling AI offers for upwards of 10 grand per package. And the way it works is you have your current situation and you have your desired situation, which is to be able to close AI offer deals for upwards of 10 grand per package. And in between those two situations, there's a gap. And under that gap, the reason why there is a gap is because there's 5 main problems that you need to solve in order for you to be able to do this. Okay. And so I'm about to walk you through what are those five main problems that need to be solved and the different strategies and mechanisms you can implement to solve each problem. So the first problem that needs to be solved is your offer. And so when it comes to your offer, you need to pick the right market and solve the right problem. You need to pick a market. I'm about to walk you through what separates a good market and a bad market. The more painful the problem you're solving for the market, the more you're going to get paid. You get paid in proportion to the value you're providing and the pain level of the problem you're solving. Okay. And you want to couple that with an AI offer. You want to implement an AI mechanism into your offer, which I'm going to show you how to do so you can position yourself as somebody who sells AI and so you can have a competitive edge, because right now AI is in huge demand. Everyone knows they need to implement AI into their business, but they just don't know how. So the demand for AI is already there, but there's not enough people to fulfill it. And I'm going to walk you through everything. So when it comes to the market, there's good markets and there's bad markets. And this can dictate your entire business. This is probably the most important choice you'll make in your business. If you're watching a course, if you're watching a guru and they say, oh, your market doesn't matter, just pick a random niche. No, the market you pick matters. Okay, it matters a lot, and here's why. When it comes to a good market, you want to make sure that the market you choose is growing and not dying. You want to make sure that they're easy to find online, and you want to make sure that there's at least 50,000 total addressable market size, which simply means there's at least 50,000 businesses, ideally in the US. Okay, because if you pick a market where there's 10,000 businesses, then they're going to be hard to find because not many of them exist. Okay, you want to make sure that they aren't broke. This is huge. You want to make sure that every person you hop on a call with, and there's different ways to qualify people. You want to make sure that these people have money so they can actually afford the solution you're providing to them. And then you want to make sure that the competition, the saturation levels isn't too high. The least competitive, the better. Okay. In theory, you can succeed in any market, but if you're starting out in the beginning and you don't have much money to spend, you don't have much money to allocate towards marketing, then you want to choose the market where you're going to get the lowest cost per booked call, the lowest cost to acquire a customer, and the lowest cost per lead. Okay. Because in the beginning, you need to be getting the biggest bang for your buck. And the way to do that is to choose a market where they're not as sophisticated and it's not as competitive, so you get more people who are taking you up on your offer to hop on a call with them. Okay, that's super important. And then you want to make sure they can predictably deliver results to this market. Okay, because you don't want to be getting clients and you don't want to be basically scamming them where you're not providing value to them. Okay, because then you're always going to be in this never-ending cycle of getting clients and churning, and it's a very stressful way to live. Okay, and so that's a good market, and basically a bad market is the complete opposite of everything of a good market. So the market is dying. The newspaper business, that's a bad choice to go into. They're hard to find online. There's less than 50,000 businesses, and they're broke. Okay, so get away from this and choose good markets. And I'm about to show you an example of good markets. The best markets you can choose, especially in the beginning, are brick and mortar businesses. Okay, brick and mortar businesses are the best ones to target in the beginning. Why? These businesses have the most money. They've earmarked a specific budget that they can allocate towards marketing. They're the least sophisticated. They're focused on, for example, if you go with roofers, if you go with chiropractors, they're focused on fulfilling their service to their customers. They don't have time to learn online marketing, to learn how to run ads, how to create content, how to learn AI. So these people, they don't know much about marketing, and this is why it's the best to target these least sophisticated businesses, so you can come in and you can educate them on how to do things. And it's also the least competition. Most people, they go after online coaches, high ticket agencies. That if you go into one of those markets where it's an online business, online coach, it's going to be so hard to book calls and to get leads at a reasonable cost, especially if you're working with a limited budget, that you're just going to drain your money. So this is why I highly recommend you go to brick and mortar businesses. What are the 2 main types of brick and mortar businesses? The first one is home remodeling businesses. Okay, these are people like roofers, HVAC businesses, landscapers, plumbers, general remodeling business, and the list goes on. Okay. And then the other side is service providers. These are people like chiropractors, dentists, law firms, realtors, accountants, med spa, etc. I will say that home remodeling is a little less competitive than service providers because I guess these are, this, to be real, is these are the least sexy businesses to go after. Okay. Roofers, HVAC, but these are real businesses that provide real value. They're always going to be here no matter, what AI does. These businesses provide real physical value, solid value to the world. And these are the least sexy businesses to go after. These are the least flashy businesses, but these are the most sustainable and the best predictable businesses to go after, especially in the beginning when you don't have $1 million to, work with. And so once you've chosen a market based on the criteria I just laid out, you need to identify the problems they face. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, the most general problems that these businesses face across many industries is things like lead gen, lead nurture, systems, automation, etc. Okay. And you want to make sure that the problem you're solving is directly tied to how much money the business makes. So for example, if you go with, let's say, if you want to solve a problem of fixing the business's, uniforms, okay, giving them better work clothes, then you don't know how much money that's going to bring them because it's not tied directly to the monetary aspect of their business. But when you choose a problem like lead gen, so how many leads are they getting? That's the cornerstone of their business. If they're not getting leads, then they're not making money. So you just want to make sure, keep that in mind, that whatever problem you're solving for these businesses, it needs to be directly tied to how much money the business makes. So that way, it's more, the problem is more valuable and important to them. Avoid this at all costs. Avoid being a commodity offer that only solves one of their problems. You do not want to be a general problem solver that only solves one problem because you're easily replaceable. If you're a commodity offer that only solves one problem, you're easily replaceable, you're not unique, and you're competing on price, okay? You have no unique aspect to your business, to your offer. That means the only way you can really get clients is by being the cheapest one out there, okay? And what way to live is that, okay? And so if you're a commodity offer that only solves one of their problems, then you can charge anywhere between $500 to $1,500 if you're lucky, okay? And I'm telling you right now, you're still going to be struggling to get clients at this price if you're only solving one of these problems. Okay, so how do you want to do it? Well, you do not want to be a commodity offer because you're only solving one problem. When you're doing this, there's a low probability of them reaching their desired situation. So your offer, your service actually sucks since you're only solving one problem. There's many more problems that need to be solved in order for your prospect to reach the desired situation. And if you're only solving one problem, then the probability of them reaching their desired situation is low. Okay, so you want to avoid that. You're easy to copy. You're selling your time. You're not leveraged, and you cannot charge high prices because you are not perceived as valuable. And so what do you want to do? You want to take this commodity offer and you want to package it into an AI infrastructure offer. So instead of just solving one problem with one mechanism, you want to solve multiple problems in between the gap, in between their current and the desired situation. Okay. And so when you have an AI infrastructure offer that solves all of their problems, you can easily, depending on the problem you're solving and the market you chose, charge anywhere between 5 to 15 to 20 to 25K if you have the right market and the right problems you're solving. Okay. And so how does this work? Well, like this one, you're solving one problem with one mechanism. This one, you're solving multiple problems with multiple mechanisms. Okay. And so, for example, let's say we're targeting the chiropractor niche. Okay. We're targeting chiropractor market. You have their current situation, which is getting leads unpredictably. They don't have a predictable system to get leads. They don't have a predictable way to nurture these leads and book them into appointments. And then you have their desired situation, which is essentially having a predictable marketing system in their business. And so the way we can create an AI infrastructure offer around that is simple. And so the main problems that need to be solved in this situation is first their offer, their lead gen, and then their lead nurture systems. So you can take a look at their offer and revise their offer and make it better if you have this knowledge in this specific market. And then when it comes to lead gen, you can create AI creatives and also run ads for them. So right now, a big thing that we're seeing, a big innovation that we're seeing, especially now since ChatGPT launched their new image feature, is AI creatives. Okay, there's different tools, arcads.ai. There's so many ways you can create unique creatives that perform better than human-made creatives, and you're automating the process for them. Okay, so you can do something like run ads and create AI creatives for them, and then also build out and place an AI voice dialer in their business, and also different email sequences and nurture sequences to make sure all their leads are following up and getting booked on calls. And that right there is just one example of an AI infrastructure offer that you can take to any market and sell for anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20K. Okay. And so when you're selling an AI infrastructure offer, you're solving every problem in the gap, which makes you a specialized problem solver. You're not a general problem solver, which means you're not easily replaceable. You're actually valuable. You're a valuable asset to the business. You're almost like a key man to them. You also have the highest probability of them reaching their desired situation because you're solving every problem in between their current and their desired situation. Okay, which makes it infinitely valuable to them. You're hard to copy because I'm not going to lie to you, this is a higher barrier opportunity. For you to sell this, it's going to be harder for you to create this, and it's a higher barrier offer, higher barrier to entry opportunity, opposed to just finding one tool and learning how to use that tool to set up in people's businesses. But what does that mean? If you're going into higher barrier opportunities, it means that you're going to have less competition, because nowadays most people are lazy. They just want to go the easy route, and when you go the easy route, everyone's going the easy route, which means there's so much competition, which means that the easy opportunities actually end up being the harder opportunities, because there's so much competition. It's so much harder to make money even when you're charging these prices. But when you choose to put a little more effort up front and build out a valuable offer, then the initial harder opportunity ends up actually being the easier opportunity, because there's less people who are willing to go through that barrier to entry to be able to charge these types of ticket prices, and there's less competition. Okay, so always go for the higher barrier opportunities, because in the long run it will be easier than going for the easy opportunities. Okay, because you will have less competition and you can charge higher prices. And so you're hard to copy, you're unique, you're selling systems that are already leveraged, that are already built. So when it comes to selling the AI infrastructure offer, this isn't something that you do everything yourself. So you onboard a client and you have to do all the work right away. These are systems, these are talent systems, insights that you already have built out, and you just plug and play into people's businesses. Okay, so you build out the system once and you can copy and paste it into people's businesses, which is leverage. You build it once and it works for you forever. This is infinite leverage. And so you can charge a premium, and so you can charge a premium, which means you can hire a fulfillment team and you can outsource yourself from fulfillment for the most part. Obviously you want to have some oversight into what's happening in fulfillment, but as the founder, you want to hire a fulfillment team of A players to take care of fulfillment for you, so you as the founder can focus on higher leverage things like creating content, marketing, sales, these things that drive the monetary aspect of the business forward. Okay, and so that's how you go from choosing a good market, ideally a brick and mortar market, to going from a commodity offer to an AI infrastructure offer that solves the entire gap in between your prospect's current situation and their desired situation. Okay, and so the next thing that needs to be solved is marketing. And how you're going to solve that? Ideally with content and ads. And here's why. Okay, so when it comes to content is leveraged and it's compounding growth. And here's what I mean. So let's compare manually sending 1,000 cold DMs on Instagram, which nowadays is like it's warfare, it's hell. And nowadays sending cold DMs on Instagram or any platform compared to a few years ago is so different. The response rate is so much lower that it's like you're fighting for breadcrumbs. It's insane. Okay, so manually sending 1,000 cold DMs on Instagram compared to creating one YouTube video that gets 1,000 views. Okay, so this in the beginning, you're probably not going to be getting 1,000 views on every video. That's why so many people quit. They start creating content and they don't get 1,000, they don't get 10,000 views right away, which means they quit, which means that if you stick with it for a long enough period, a few months, a few years, your videos will start getting 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 views per video, and it compounds onto itself. Okay, and so actually stick with it and be consistent and it will pay off. But let's get back to comparing these two. So when you're doing manually sending 1,000 cold DMs on Instagram, you're doing 1,000 smaller inputs. Okay, and so realistically, to do 1,000 cold DMs on Instagram by yourself is going to take 10 to 12 hours of your time, and that's not counting. Let's not even count all the accounts you're going to have to ramp up, all the restrictions you might face. The limits you're going to have put on your account, the red flags you're going to get banned by Meta for. It's absurd. Okay, but realistically, if you can just spam messages, it's probably going to take 10 to 12 hours of your time to send 1,000 cold DMs. Okay, this is low leverage, but when it comes to creating one YouTube video that gets 1,000 views, this is one bigger input, and this one bigger input is probably going to take half the amount of time, so anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of your time, and this is high leveraged. Why? Because when you're sending cold DMs, it's one input, one output. It's linear growth. For every DM, so let's say you have a 10% response rate. You know that for every 100 DMs you send, 10 people respond. Every 100 DMs you send, 10 people respond. Every 100 DMs you send, 10 people respond. It's linear. One input is one output. Okay, it can be predictable if you can properly set the system up, which is, going to take forever. But if you can actually set it up and get to it where the metrics are not super bad, then it's a decent system. But it's still linear growth. It's not leveraged. When it comes to content, it's exponential growth. One input equals growth that compounds. The beautiful thing about content is that your audience compounds onto itself. The more you stick with it, the more it's going to grow, and the more your audience is gonna you're gonna experience this exponential growth. Okay, and so you want to avoid things. Don't avoid things that have linear growth, but you want to have flywheels in your business that compound and produce exponential results over time. That's how you build a great business that gives you insane outsized returns. Okay, and so when it comes to ads, and the truth about content is, the reason why we're even implementing ads in the first place is because, like I said, content does take time. In the beginning, it's going to be a little slow. You might not be getting 100 leads per day right away, but if you stick with it and build your channel, build whatever platform you're building on. I recommend YouTube. Then your personal brand is going to become the biggest asset, not just in your business but in your life. Okay, and that's the truth. But when it comes to ads, content is the long-term strategy and ads is the quick short-term strategy. And specifically Meta, I highly recommend you choose Facebook because Meta has a ton of data, which not only means that they will put your ad in front of your ideal prospect, but also in front of the person who's most likely going to book a call/buy from you. And this is how advanced their machine learning has gotten, and it's only going to get better. It's insane. And so if we go back to the 4 forms of leverage, so if you don't know what the four forms of leverage, it's code, capital, labor, and media. And you want to find different ways to implement these 4 forms of leverage as much as you can in your business. Okay. And if you don't know what leverage means, it simply means you get more for what you put in. Okay. You get more output for your input. And these 4 mechanisms, these 4 different forms of leverage are the only ways you can get more for what you put in. So implementing software, implementing code, leveraging capital, leveraging people to do things for you, and also, posting content and posting media. Okay, and so by running ads, you are leveraging code, which is one of the best forms of leverage, which also along with capital, it is a permissionless form of leverage. You don't need permission to run ads. You can put in as much money as you would like, okay, as long as your ads obviously comply with Meta's policy. And so pay ads instead of people. If you currently have appointment setters sending cold DMs for you, it's different if they're reaching out to warm leads. But if you have just pure outbound cold DM appointment setters who are just sending outbound cold DMs, I would like you to take that money that you are paying those people and simply put it into ads. I guarantee you that a lot more people will hear and learn about your offer, okay, from ads opposed to doing cold DMs. And if you aren't paying anyone and you're doing outreach yourself, please get a part-time job and use that money for ads. The $15 per hour you make will allow you to reach more people than the amount of DMs you send per hour. Okay, and that's the honest truth. And so this is how you solve the marketing aspect of your business, is start building your personal brand, start creating content, and learn ads and run ads so you can make money as quickly as possible. Ads is quick. Okay, ads is quick. You can literally book calls the next day after you launch your campaign. You just have to learn how to create a good creative and how to put it in front of the right audience. Okay, which is getting easier and easier due to Meta's machine learning. And so that's that. The next thing is lead nurture. Okay, and so you need to have the right CRM. Okay, you want to have one central place where you track all your leads, where you can, you have all your automations, where you have everything in one place. You need to have the right systems and also build a community. Okay, and so when it comes to the biggest gurus, the biggest business influencers in the space, 99% of them have a community, and it's not by accident. You have Iman. Every time he runs a webinar, he starts a community. You have Serge Guattari's low ticket community. You have Jordan Platten. You have Luke Belmar, Tate, everyone. Okay, and so having a community allows you to centralize all your leads in one place where you are constantly providing value to them. Think of a community like an email list, except you have much more control over everything. And so when you're creating content, you're running ads, you want to drive all your traffic, you want to have all your leads in one place, because not everyone is ready to buy right away. You need to warm them up. You need to it's like you taking a girl or a boy on a date. You're not ready to go into a relationship right away. You guys need to get to know each other. You guys need to learn about each other. I don't know, but you need to nurture them over time, and you need to provide enough value over time where that's to the point where when they are ready to buy, then they're going to buy from you, because they view you as an authority figure who's been trying to help them, not a marketer trying to sell them. Okay, that's a problem with direct response marketing. Although it might be the quickest way to make money, it's not the best long-term strategy to make the most money. Okay, so having a community, and it really doesn't matter what platform, whether it's school, whether it's Discord, whether it's, I don't know, Facebook groups, depending on which audience you have, they might prefer specific platforms, but just have a community where, they can, your markets can block out the noise, your leads can block out the noise, and they can just listen to your messaging. Okay, post content, quality over quantity, have weekly calls, and provide value. Okay, it's simply a mechanism for you to centralize your leads and provide value to them all in one place. Okay, and so when it comes to the systems and CRM aspects of things, I'm just simply going to say just use Go High Level. And the bare minimum you need to have is a long-term email nurture sequence. So whenever somebody opts into a funnel, you have some sort of email nurture sequence that's providing value to them and nurturing them over, let's say, 6 to 8 to even 10 weeks. It can be as long as you want. You want to be contacting leads within 5 minutes of opting in. And whether this is you texting them or whether you ideally calling them or an AI calling them, if you call them, it's a higher chance that they pick up and they hop on a call with you. Or it doesn't matter if you're at work or you're in school or something and you can't call a lead as soon as it opts in and you have to text them. Do that. Okay, do whatever it takes. But the baseline is you want to be contacting leads within 5 minutes of opting in. If you're contacting them within 5 minutes of opting into whatever funnel you're running, the likelihood that they respond is drastically higher. Okay, and then you also want to have some sort of pre-call nurture sequence where every time somebody books a call with you, they're getting SMS and email notifications and reminders reminding them of the call and providing value and showing social proof and case studies before the call. Why? So you can force feed them content so they can consume content before the call. So by the time they hop on a call, they already know who you are, what you do, who you've helped, what you've done, your whole story. And so this way they're much warmer and the likelihood of you closing them is much higher. Not only the closing rate will go up, but also the show up rate. The likelihood of them showing up will go up. Okay, so that's super important. After that, once you've got the nurture sequences in place, then it's time to move on to sales. Okay, and so the two big aspects of sales, and I've already kind of touched on this just now, is nurturing them with content and also having a good sales process, a good closing process. Okay, and so there's 3 pillars of selling AI. The first one is logic over emotion. If you're selling high ticket packages to another business, prioritize selling with logic. Sure, when you're selling low ticket offers to consumers, then at that point selling with emotion is effective. But as you sell to people who have more money, the more logical the sale needs to be. These people aren't dumb. These people have been in business for a while, okay, and they most likely already know all the sales tactics, and they're just looking for the right solution for their business. And so you want to communicate the value clearly and show them that your solution is the best. So prioritize logic over emotion. And this is the power of AI. AI has such a good value proposition. It's either automating something, it's either making things cheaper, or it's increasing the quality of something. Okay, and so it has such a good value proposition that they already know that it can change their business. You just have to communicate that value to the best of your knowledge. Okay, and so when it comes to content, we're currently in a trust recession. If you aren't creating valuable content for your market, you need to start now, okay? And you want your market to view you as an authority figure trying to help them, not a marketer trying to sell them. And I've both personally hopped on calls with people who've consumed a ton of my content and people who've never watched a second of it. And I can safely say that the difference is astonishing, okay? And I'm not saying that you have to have millions of followers across multiple platforms. Literally something as small as getting people to watch a simple video, a simple VSL explaining what you do and who you've helped will make a massive difference. So just try to however you gotta do it, try to get them to consume some content before the call, ideally of what you do, who you've helped, social proof, and what you're selling and what creating desire for your solution. Okay, and so the last pillar is your value proposition. And I've already kind of touched this, but one of the biggest pros to selling AI infrastructures is the incredible value proposition that it brings. When you're on a sales call, your primary role should be to ask the other person questions, dig deep, and collect more ammo that you can use against them to close the sale. And once you've asked enough questions and you know everything that's wrong with their business, you need to present your solution and how it bridges the gap between their current and their desired situation. The best possible value proposition, or the best way to communicate the value, is to literally show them, even visually, hey, this is your current situation, this is what you're doing, this is the inefficiencies, this is why you're struggling, and this is what we're offering, and this is the difference it's going to make in your business. Okay, and so I want to present to you Maslow's theory and what exactly this is. And so this is the different levels of the human hierarchy of needs. One being the most necessary, like without it they cannot survive, and 5 being the least necessary. It's a luxury, it's a want, not a need. So the first one is physiological needs. These are the absolute essentials for survival. So things like air, water, food, shelter, and basic biological functions. Without these, you cannot live. You will die. Okay, and so why is this number one? Because nothing else matters if you cannot breathe or eat. And a level under that, you have safety needs. So these are things like security and stability, physical safety and financial security and health, and protection from immediate threat or chaos. And so once you're able to live on your own, you need to be avoiding danger and deprivation. Okay, and so that's the priority once this is first handled. And so under that, once this is handled, the next priority becomes love and belongingness needs. And so this is connection and relationships, friendship, intimacy, and a sense of belonging with others. Why is this number 3? It's because humans are social. We're social creatures, and so isolation hinders well-being once survival and safety are secured. And so once these two needs are met, this is the third most important. And once this third need is met, the fourth most important is esteem needs. And so this is self-worth and recognition, confidence, achievement, and respect from self and others. Why? Because valuing yourself and your place in the world built on social bonds, but it's not essential for survival. Okay, this is only important once these other needs are met. And once this is met, then the least important need is the self-actualization needs. And these are things like personal fulfillment, reaching your potential, and pursuing growth and living authentically. Why? Because it's a luxury. Okay, why is this number 5? It's a luxury, it's not a need. Okay, it's a want, it's not a need. And it's only meaningful once everything else is in place. Okay, and so that's Maslow's theory. Why is this important? It's important because if you sell AI infrastructure offers to other businesses, you are operating on the first 2 levels of Maslow's theory, okay, physiological and safety needs, okay, because most business owners understand that AI is going to change everything about the world, including business in and of itself, and if businesses don't adapt, they will not survive. And your job is to communicate the simple fact to the business owner and portray to them why your specific solution is the best one to take them from their current situation to their desired situation. So they know that any business, home remodeling businesses, service businesses, online businesses, we all know that AI is going to change everything. And if you don't implement it, then these 2 needs might not be met, because someone will come and take you won't be able to put food on the table if your competitors implement AI before you do. And if you completely ignore AI and your competitors implement it, they might steal your entire market share and you won't be able to put food on the table. Okay, and so this is the urgency that the current market is operating on, and this is why selling AI is so beneficial, because everyone who's looking to implement it is operating on the first 2 levels of Maslow's theory. Okay, they know that without AI, they won't be able to survive in the future. And so they're looking for looking for any ways to implement it. So the demand is there. We need the supply to fulfill it, to fulfill the demand curve. And so that's that. And the last thing is fulfillment. Okay, so once you've created your offer, you've marketed, you're generating leads, you're nurturing these leads, and you've closed the deal. It's time to fulfill. Okay, it's time to fulfill on the promise you made to them. And so you need to have specific systems in place, and you need to have a sophisticated fulfillment flow, which I'm going to walk you through right now. So the best way to structure your fulfillment is into 3 different phases. Okay, and if I go back to the initial offer, that how it works when you're selling an AI infrastructure offer, you're not selling a monthly recurring service. What you're selling is a system that you're building out and implementing into their business. Okay, so you charge a one-time implementation fee for 5, 10, 15 grand, and that period, it's a 3-month period where you implement this into their business. Okay, realistically, it might take like a month for you to implement this into their business, but the other 2 months you're optimizing it and you're maintaining it for them. Okay, and so after that 3-month period, you can work on a monthly retainer basis where they paid you a one-time implementation fee of 5K, 10K, 15K. And then you basically say, hey, the 3-month period is over. We've implemented the system into your business. We've maintained it. If you want to keep working with us, pay us 1,000, pay us 1.5K per month if you want us to keep on maintaining this and consulting you through it. Okay, so the first 3 months you're implementing this infrastructure into their business, and the rest, the month-to-month basis after that is you simply maintaining it and optimizing it and providing value to them, which is highly leveraged in your position. So since you're not doing a normal monthly retainer type of service, you need to structure your fulfillment in the right way, okay? And the best way to do it is to split it up into 3 different phases: the onboarding phase, the build out phase, and the optimization phase. When it comes to onboarding, it's pretty simple. You collect their payment, whether it's Stripe or whatever platform you're using. From there, you get them to fill out some sort of onboarding form where they give you their basic information. Then through there, you want to initiate the onboarding sequence, okay? When it comes to onboarding, you want it to be scalable. You don't want it to be where everything is done manually. You want to have an onboarding sequence that creates all the client materials, all the folders, all the assets for them, and books the, sends the link to book the kickoff call, okay? And so why? Because if you have an onboarding that's not scalable, then that's going to be the first constraint of your fulfillment, and you won't be able to, onboard 5-10 people at once, and which is going to obviously hinder how much money you make if you can't onboard everyone, okay? So you want to have an automation that does everything, and it creates client materials, communication, and sends an agreement, okay? Once all of that is handled, the contract is signed, the payment is paid, the onboarding form is filled out, you want to book a clarity call, okay? An onboarding call, kickoff call, whatever you want to call it, okay? And so once that's taken care of, you want to move to the build out phase. You want to set expectations and present a roadmap where you simply just map out exactly what the client journey is going to look like from them and what they can expect within each time period. And once you've handled that on the clarity call, you want to begin building the asset, okay? So whether, depends on what you're selling, whether it's, you're selling AI creatives, meta ads, and then a voice dialer, start building out the system. And you also want to give client deadlines. Whenever you give deadlines, you always want to under promise and over deliver. So for example, I can say, hey, we're going to have your ads running by Friday. But in reality, I'm going to have their ads running by Wednesday, okay, 2 days earlier. Why is that good? Because they perceive you as a better service provider because you over deliver on your promise. Okay, and so you also want to have everything documented and templatized internally. So that way, it's like a machine. It's like a factory. Okay, it's like an assembly line where you're handing it off from one department to the other, and that way everything's going smoothly. You don't want your service delivery to be like one big mess where you never know what's the next thing that's going to happen. Everything needs to be documented and everything needs to be systemized. Okay, and then you want to have weekly check-in calls, especially in the beginning when you're building everything out. So that way you can make sure that all the needs are being met and that all the deadlines are being met and everything is good and the client is satisfied. From there, once you've onboarded them and you're building out their systems and you've built out their assets, it's time to move on to the optimization phase, okay? And so you want to have weekly focus and data collection. Simply means that whether it's a voice dialer or ads, you're going to look at the metrics, make sure everything is performing, make sure that the AI voice dialer is not hallucinating, it's not saying the wrong things. And from there, you want to take a look at it and you want to make sure that, hey, if everything's going good, then we're going to keep it and we're going to double down on it. If, something's underperforming, then we're going to make the optimizations that need to be made, okay? And so you also want to document and transfer knowledge. So, if a client hits a specific constraint or, they need to be consulted on something, you want to make sure you have assets ready and you're documenting things along as you go. So the more clients you onboard, the more information you're going to be receiving from these clients. You're going to be seeing what problems they face, what are the things that need to be solved. So you document all this and you create content around it. And so that way you don't have to repeat yourself every time. The next time someone has the same problem, you can just share the piece of content with them, okay? And so from there, once you've taken a look at everything, you simply ask yourself once again, hey, are KPIs being met? Is everything performing as it should be? If yes, then you want to double down on it and scale it. If no, then you want to make the optimizations that need to be made in order to get your clients the best results. That's literally A through Z how you start and scale an AI agency. Start selling AI infrastructure offers for upwards of 10 grand, picking a profitable market, creating a good offer, having the right marketing systems in place, creating content and ads, having the right lead nurture systems in place, tracking everything, centralizing all your leads in one community, having the right sales process, positioning your offer the right way on sales calls, and then having a scalable fulfillment that actually gets your clients good results so you can get testimonials and social proof so you can leverage in the future to get more clients. So the truth is that everything I mentioned in this video you can implement on your own, but I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Remember what I mentioned, that you always want to go for the harder initial opportunities, the higher barrier to entry opportunities, because down the road it's going to end up being easier because there's less competition. But you implementing this into your business, it's probably going to take a few months, maybe even a few years to learn the ropes and go through all the failures that's needed in order to succeed with it. okay? And so if you want, you can book a free one-on-one AI value call with me where I can walk you through exactly how we're implementing this into our clients' businesses and what it could potentially look like in your business. So we can all take a piece of this massive revolution that's currently happening, which is AI, okay? It's going to add trillions of dollars to the global economy, and we all want a piece of it, okay? And so first link in the description, completely free one-on-one AI value call, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.